welcome back to my video. So last time we did the Moomin house. We did this wall, we scuffed it up, made it look more rustic. We put in our windows, which are all taken fine, and for today we are going to be doing 94, which I understand we're going to be doing more work to the walls. This one's finished now, we don't have to touch that again. Do more work with the walls. We are also going to be doing I think parts to the main house, so I'm going to have to bring down the main house. And this one, very exciting for those who haven't done it already, you are finally getting to connect your floors, which I have done, so I won't be showing that, but I will try and get it down because there's still stuff that I have to do for it that I didn't need to do until today. Alright, see you in a minute. Okay, so let's do 94. So we have, if you watch 93, you know what's coming. We're doing our partial wall. Don't like doing partial walls. I prefer to do the whole thing, or at least get it all measured up, but we will go with it. We're also doing some wallpaper, fine with that. And we are going to assemble the floors, by the looks of it, together, which, if you've seen my videos before, you know I've already done, but we're also doing some extra things, so I am going to see if I can bring my house down and do that, but I might have to do an add-on video afterwards of what that looks like. Let's see how we go. Alright, so what we have here is we have the Hattie Fattiers from the picture books, okay, they live, gosh, I can't read, in a hollow tree and love tea. Alrighty, and that's their relationships. And then we have hundreds of the electric chaps who smell of burned out thunderclaps. Who would want to smell like that? Isn't that a weird one? Okay, and then we go into another journey for the time machine in a search for romance, and it gives her quite a few cartoon illustrations on this one, so if you like your cartoons then you've got that. And the adorable Smoke Maiden. Oh, how cute. Then we get on to our build. So I don't think we're going to have any filler or anything like that to do today, but I know we have it coming up obviously for the other walls. So it looks like we're going to be painting the sides, which anyone who has seen these before knows I've already done this part, and I used a acrylic paint marker, which I swear is going to run out because of doing the other parts. And then we get some cardboard, so make sure there's nothing else on there. Isn't? Nope, that's it. So let's see what we have. So we have our cardboard, which is pre-cut. Okay, I did drop these on the floor, so they're probably a little bit on the hairy side. So they're pre-cut already. We have more of them, some thinner ones and some thicker ones. I guess these will be for the floors, and this will be for the wall bits going down. We also have a piece of our house, another piece, a third piece. It's just a strange shape, isn't it? That really weird shape. This is going to be the bit that is problematic. And then we have our cardboard stick in, which will probably only fit in a little bit of it this time and have to hold on to that for issue 95. Maybe, I mean, for all I know, we could be doing the wall of the bathhouse. I don't know. And then we have some wallpaper. So let us get on. I will get the walls in and we will start work on them. Alright, and we are going to start on this side of this wall, the only wall that's left that hasn't had anything done to it, and we are starting on the bottom and about kind of halfway up, something like that. Like I say, it's not my favourite way of doing it, to say the least. So I tested my glue to make sure that this was going to work. Oh, it's getting a bit low, isn't it? I'll have to actually buy some more soon. Alright, I'm actually going to get out the big glue pot, I think, to make it easier. Alright, so, and then afterwards I'll fill up my little one again. Because I have had not much trouble with it sticking on the ends, but a little bit. And as I know it's going to go all the way, I'm going to be putting all of this on. This just gives it a bit more glue. As you can see, quite a lot more glue. I got my clamps all to hand, ready to rock and roll. Doesn't really matter if it spreads over onto the inside because it's all going to get covered up. So I'm not 100% sure how high up this one's going to go. Gosh, I totally missed then. So let's see. Let's get the first one, which is going to be the one with the little tab here, which looks incredibly delicate. Okay, so get that out of the way. And you are meant to bend these, I think I say that every time, a little bit. See, this is already bending, this tiny one. He didn't like it. Okay, just make sure you're all pretty much lined up with the edge. And put your other way around on this one because it's lost a piece. And it all moved. Should be used to doing these by now, huh? Somewhere there. Okay, or not. I think I'm going to get this corner first, actually. Like I said, I just don't like doing it this way where it's going to then meet up later. And this will be dry by then and makes it rather difficult to move around. So let's start there instead. That's not good. Okay, now we're okay. Let's use one of the bigger ones on this door. Don't like how wobbly that is. And it's fully got glue underneath it either. Alright, so let's get that here. Start balancing this, huh? Right. It's quite smooth down here though, around where the door's going to go in. It's actually quite smooth. It'd be good to put the windows and doors in. Now we know that it is going to happen, and obviously knowing that there is going to be filler, even if I'm not particularly great at it, that does actually give me a little bit of hope that it's not going to be terrible. And one there. Okay, and then we'll put one up here, and I'm going to give it a moment to start to take, because I'm obviously not going to have enough clamps for all of this. Obviously. Should never say obviously, do you know that, right? It was something I was always taught in business, never say obvious, because it's not always obvious. Okay, and I will fill up my glue pot while we're doing this. I'm not going to leave it too long because I want to, where I've put extra glue going up and stuff, I want that to take. Or not take, I don't want it to set. Right, I'm going to fill up my glue pot as well, and then we'll get on with the next bit, and that should give it a few minutes to do its stuff. Alright, it's only had a few minutes, just enough time for me to fill up my glue pot really. So next piece is going to be this one, and I believe it's this way up actually, onto here. So let me get this clamp out the way, and this one, and that didn't, well, it doesn't really have much glue there to hold on to. So we are going to take the lid off. None of that had really glue to stick to. Again, I'm not 100% sure how high up this is going to go, but let's assume it's going to go up to here. I'd like to think it's got a bit more support than the last one we did on issue, gosh, was it the one before this one? I don't always video these, like, I don't video these really back to back. I video sometimes back to back, it depends what else is going down in the world. This, I want to put some underneath here because this hasn't really taken at all. So once we put this piece in, then using the main pot definitely comes out a lot faster. Okay, so now we just need to marry it up with the wood here. Make sure it's as close as we can, because we know my filling techniques aren't the best. Good one in here. Get my big ones. Okay. And I might have to go back in afterwards and do the edges, and that'll be fine. Just try to keep it off the end. Like I said, if you haven't painted it already, you want to do it before you do this. And they do recommend paint, they don't say go and use markers like me, just so you are aware. And we're going to get over a little, I don't think we're going to go over that much. Whoever knows. This one doesn't quite reach that wall thing that you would hope for. And if I don't use it, then I'm going to scrape some of this glue off, because I don't want it setting and making a rough surface for it going forward. And then put the last one on, and this can be set to dry. And again, making sure that you're lining it up well on the edges. It's looking okay. There's glue everywhere, but it's looking okay. I think I'm going to use some different types of clamps for that middle bit. I've got glue dripping on the top here, and that's the problem with using the big glue. See. I might be able to do it with this. Be able to use these ones. Come on, come on. Should have it more ready. It's got glue everywhere there. In there. Okay, so just push that away, make sure. don't think it would get stuck to it. Right, and then I'm just going to get rid of any glue from the edges here. Shouldn't do it with my hands. I really got the tools to do it with other things. Just to make sure so that when we go to put the next pieces on my crochet, it won't be so bad. So this is lined up quite well. Quite happy with how this is lined up. Let's hope it's going to line up when we do the other side here. So that's all we're going to do to this. I might put one more clamp on here to make sure that takes, maybe one with little pads on both sides. If I can get that in. We can do it. There we go. And the only one which doesn't really have any clamps on is this one here. And I don't think I'm going to have anything that's going to be big enough to fit into there. So I think that's where we're going to have to go. And this I'll have to work on afterwards. Alrighty. Unless I can... Oh, it's so close. No, just not going to get that done. Alright, so the only one I really need to worry about is this one, which is popping up in the middle there. Maybe this one a bit. Maybe we use a bigger one. I've got a bigger one. But that's as far as they go. This one would go in a bit more there. Let's loosen it, not tighten it. And then I don't have one on there, but that's easier to fix. Alright, I think that would work, give or take. Okay, let's get to wallpapering next. Alright, although I said I was going to do the wallpaper next or not, I am going to do, you can see this side hasn't stuck whatsoever, because I need the clamps. So, we are going to put in these panels, and we use one, you can't see any of that, 1, 3, and 5. So I'm going to put those in, and then I'm going to reclamp this, and then we get on with that wallpaper once that's dry. So we will take an interlude. So let's see, we need to do number 5 is going to be up. Let me turn it around. Have it in the direction that they have it number here. Now they want you to use wood glue, and I haven't overly found much success on doing so. So I think I'm going to use some tacky for this. Wood glue doesn't seem to work as well with the paper and keeping it exactly where you want it, and this is also going to help keep some of the ones which haven't taken to take. So this is going to be our number 5. I was saying last time we did these that have the right side up, but you know, now I know about the what's the name it, you know, not that you know what what's the name it is, all that filling that we have to do, I'm not as worried about it. So, and I'm going to glue this back down because this whole side didn't take. It's probably because I put it on too early or something, who knows. And then that helped that panel stay down. Okay, well, making a pig's ear of this. Should be used to this by now, huh? I would say that this is the worst one that didn't go down, but I'd be lying, because others did not either. I want the paper to take, which is on the next section, it's not even on this section. And you can see it's all kind of coming up. I mean, I know I didn't leave it to dry long, but still. Nice. Sorry, your cough. And I want one on here too. And one on here. So I'm basically just re-gluing this side a bit better. And then I turn it over and put the other pieces in, and then I will worry about it. Looks quite a mess really. Make sure I get that off. I kind of want to go up here, but I think I'm going to get one in here too. So I'm not going to worry about this too much, because I know we're going to have to, well, I probably will, because just because I say these things doesn't mean it's true. I'm going to put one, I'm not going to get that in there, but because I want it sticking to those, we will put one of these little fellas in, just to hold it down a little bit. It's a bit of an angle, but it might be able to do it a bit. And then this one, I'm going to be putting a new piece in anyway. So it's going to go in this one, this little one, I think. Yeah, and that one. So let me just put that to one side a second while we get that ready. So again, I'm going to use tacky glue for this. And then I'll sort out where it hasn't taken, I guess, rather than leaving it to next time. Because I don't know whether it's going to be an issue 10, 20, 50. Oh well, we've gone past all of those, but I don't know if it's going to be, you know, what issue it's going to be in basically. So it's gone under my paper. Wait, come back out. So I don't know. Oh, it does fit. I was going to say that's good. It doesn't even fit. That one seems to be quite down actually. It's fit a bit better than some of them. The ones we did on issue, I think it was yesterday, issue 93. I don't think the panels and stuff took so well at all. Just have a little one in there, just to hold that down. We will do the same on this side, and then I'll come back to this after we've done the wallpaper and work on getting the rest of that wall down. And the wall we're going to do is the one that we did last time. And I mean, you can see that this is really pushing us out, so I guess I shouldn't do that. Alright, leave it with me. Alright, because I haven't fully clamped that other one, I have a few clamps so that we can at least get this one going. So if you haven't already, this is the time that you want to paint the sides and the bottom your blue. And paint colours are, as a reminder, down here, tells you what colours to do. Okay, and so after doing that, you only have those two white ones that we put in holding this one on before we put the paper on it. Now I'm just going to start with the yellow, which is around the door, opposite and around what I have, and get that one in, and I should have enough clamps to hold this in place. So I'm just going to get that ready for gluing, and I'll also just use it from the pot rather than the more precise way. But you do have to make sure that you do paint the walls first. So this is where there's a slight difference on it going on my house, which also does make me a bit concerned with where those little pieces of paper, cardboards we're going to put on there. I might have to use some marker as well, because I know some of mine won't be totally flush because of the wiring. But that's okay, we can work with that. It might work out fine, you never know. I mean, it's not that far off. But this is where sometimes, you know, like when you're making these things, if you could put it together sooner, like they're literally now getting you to put the floors together, and even then you're not putting that top one on. But if you could do it sooner, then you know if there's going to be any problems and things like that. That's when it helps, but you know, it's what it is. My glue pot out because it's having a moment. Alright, so let's put that first one on, because at least we can get that taken. And then we will move on to the next piece. If there is another piece, I think I've got to bring the house in, but I'm going to wait for the other one to dry so I can get all the clamps, get this papering done. Make sure this is all lined up on the edges like they suggest. And hopefully this wall will be a bit better. I think the last one I did the paper on had problems like in the middle. And it seems to be sitting quite well. Seems is a good word, isn't it? It appears to be that way. I mean, you don't have to worry too much about the door edges, purely for the fact that they are going to be held up in also with the door. So I'll put that one there. I don't have a bigger one. I was going to say I'll put a bigger one here, but I don't have one. I think I will move this one along a bit and have another one in there. I do have another small one. To put, I'd like it to be a bit more over the other side, like so. Alright, I'm going to leave that wallpaper to dry, and then we have two more. So your yellow colour's the first one on, then we're going to follow it by the pink and the green at the top there. So let me get all that to dry. Let's take a brief interlude, shall we? And you can have a look at Puppy and how she is doing. She's 6 months now, so yeah, you can have a look how she's getting on. Alright, I've taken them off the wood panelling for now. I will sort them out in a little bit, but I will do this just so that I can get it done. And this is where you can see, like, this is to do with the way the house went together. So, oops, move you out of the way. And again, we just want to glue it in place. This one's going to work fine. I have a little gap, I think. Looks like it. And have a little gap along here, because if I push it right, well, I might be able to get away with it. If I have a gap here, if I don't have a gap here, then I have a gap at the bottom probably. You, my fellow, are in the way. Let's go down a bit. There we go. So I can get this married up, but then it's not going to marry up at the bottom. And this is to do with the way the tabs are going to go on the house because of the wiring. So yours will probably work a lot better than mine will. I'm going to go with a little gap here, and I'm going to go with sorting out with marker and having it lining up at the bottom a bit better, I think. Let's see. Have it round the right way. It'll help. And this one will then line up. I'm tempted actually to put this bottom one in first, which seems really back to front. I think that's what I'm going to do. So if I can get this one lined up with the bottom nicely, then wherever the gap's going to be on here, I'm going to fill in with a little bit of colour so that it's not so obvious. So I am going to... I was looking for my pieces of paper for going inside this, by the way, and of course I don't have that because it doesn't need it. So I'm going to do the bottom one. I have taken the lid off. And again, I'm just doing it straight from the bottle because of the size we need. And this is just going to work better because of the way I've got the house, because of, like I say, the lights does make a difference on the flooring, especially when it doesn't 100% meet everywhere. And I'm probably going to have this almost on every wall that I do, but that doesn't mean that you guys will, because you know yours are all going to marry up perfectly. Of course they are, right? I mean, it's not a bad build. It's actually quite well thought out. I mean, there's very few things that I dislike about it. I mean, it's like any other part work. It comes in bits and pieces, which is why, you know, you do the boathouse pier thing, then you do a roof, you know, in the middle of nowhere, and then you do the walls, and then you don't do anything with the walls for several issues. This is probably more normal of a part work than you think, because that's how they like it to be. And then I'm just going to line this up with the bottom, and like I say, any discrepancies, then what I'll do, just get that glue off though, any discrepancies, then what I'll do is I'll do it with marker, because I'm expecting them. I mean, I've always been expecting them, really. I knew it would happen, that there would be a slight difference on here, so it's not a surprise. You just work the best you can with what you've done, and like I say, you know, anything which you haven't done perfectly, you're going to have a few issues that you have to work around, and this one will be mine. It's because I put the lights in, but I have to be honest with you, I'm still really happy that I put the lights in, because I think it was one thing it really lacked, was lights. It was a very sad panda there with no lights. And let's see what we will put on here. I think I'm going to put one of the bigger ones in, if I can. I might raise it too much, plus I've got no grip whatsoever. There we go. Just don't want to put too much pressure, but it's not the door, it's the doors that you don't want to put too much pressure on, because they're quite a bit thinner. Right, so now we will get the other one, and I've got some clamps left. We'll get the middle one done where it touches, and then, like I say, I'm going to just fill in any gaps, and I'm expecting gaps. So this isn't, like I say, this isn't necessarily something you're going to have. It's just because I've got lighting in, which makes a difference where the floors catch and where they don't all join exactly together. And do remember, I started this a long time ago, before I ever knew what was going to be coming, by the way, and that's why I put the lights in and things. It was like, well, I don't know, and try and make it a little bit more mine. I'm actually surprised it doesn't come with lights in reality, unless they were worried it would do exactly what I put it to do. But there again, if it had done proper, you would have had channels to have put the light strips in, the same as we did with the Disney Doll's house. And the Moomin lighting is totally different. Not the Moomin, the Snoopy lighting is totally different. It's done by like little connectors. So let's see where we can get this one to touch. Like I say, I'm not expecting miracles, just make sure you have it the right way round. So that means the odd colour strip is always going to be on that side, whatever side that is for you. So the bottom one I can get matched up quite well with these gaps and things. Just make sure that that's to the edge. So it's just the top one that's a little bit out. That's okay, I can live with that. The cost of having lights and living with the paper not matching up works out to be alright for me. And obviously I used to be a perfectionist, and then I started doing models and worked out that that's just not something you can, the two of them don't stick together in vocabulary. And you can see there's quite a big gap on this side, where obviously that's exactly where the wire went through. Yeah, because that's on the edge there. Oh, let's have that around the other way. Yeah. Well, let's just use another one. Making a lot of noise now. And then, like I say, I could do a little bit of pink here, and no one would ever know the difference. And push this down. It's even lumpy and bumpy in there. This going here. Over this one as far as I can, and this is going to be a tight one, because this I can see is quite a way up in the air. See if I can get these two in a bit more. There we go, that's not too bad. on there. And I think, my friends, that will work. I'll put this catch back on and I can use this one for the other edge. There you go. Alright, I'm going to leave that to one side. I'm going to work on getting this coloured in where it's missing, making sure that it's off of the edges because you don't want blue splotches all over the show, and we will get that done. In this wall panel I see needs a little bit of a fix too, but I could probably do that. I'll get that done too. Alright, I'll be back in a little bit. Right, while that's dry, and what we will do is put these on. So the ones we're going to be using is from the strip with the semicircles in, and we're going to be using this set here of 3 of them. So they get you to cut out 4 strips, but I'm not sure what the 4th one's being used for. I will find out. Okay, so it looks like we only used 3, so I'm not sure why we're cutting out 4. But the other interesting thing is, it says the edges of the other walls will not be visible after the house is assembled and there is no need to attach the strips to them, which is interesting because it looks like all the walls are going to be visible. So it's got me on that one. So these pieces of cardboard just pull out really, and then we're going to stick them on the walls, and this we shouldn't have problems with really. It just means that whereas I painted some of these, well, you can't see that one, it's heavy, sorry. Whereas I painted some of these on the edges here, we're not going to need to worry about that. That's going to propping this up with a water bottle as well so you can see. So let's start on that middle one, being that's the one you can see. And so what we're going to do is put these strips just along here, basically. But they're showing it floor to floor, which obviously means it's too long. So I'm going to get that done. I'm going to have to stand for this. And it's not going to be towards me either. So I'm going to have it hanging over the edge a tiny bit because I know it gets another bit of paper along here. So this is when you will make sure your wallpaper's all okay on the sides, because it does start to peel up, like you can see mine has done so. I did these a long time ago, probably almost a year, maybe even longer. So get this one on. It's kind of, like I say, a bit tricky for me to show you some of this. It's getting quite a big beast now, but you would now, by now, before you do this, would have attached the floors together, so it doesn't look like when they've done it that they've got it onto here, by the way. So that's just something I've done. So I might very well trim it here, so this piece will be floating where it's not quite connected. Alrighty, and give that a moment to take and do the others, and I'll show you. Right, and that's kind of how it ended up. So it ended up alright. I will say that they are longer than what they say, and they don't say to cut them off, but they are longer. They also say don't put the loft flooring in, which I have not. There you go. I have not done that. I have it on the side. I had to go and check that I still had it because I couldn't remember. It's been a while since I've seen it. But yes, it's somewhere very safe. So these are all in. They also say to put these little strips in with double-sided tape. I did not do that. I did glue them because I've had experience with double-sided tape and it wasn't great, so, and everything came off. So that's where we are on that, and that's all we have to do in this issue. So let me get what we've done other than the house. I'm going to put that back to bed. Alright, so those were done. This is what we've done so far. So we've got this panel on. I think that actually looks okay, probably better than some. Done the paper, did some pink colour in here. I mean, when these come off, it's not like you're really going to look at them, but anyway, I've done it. Paper stuck down better than I have had on some of these walls, so I'm happy with that. So generally, really happy. So thank you very much for watching. Any comments are appreciated, and I will get back to you. Also, please do remember to like and subscribe, because that does help the channel and for me to keep bringing you some content. I have been doing some shorts. I might be cutting back on those for a little bit, but they are there if you are interested. And most of all, do take care of yourself, and I appreciate it very much you're watching. Take care. Bye bye.